Welcome to the Published and Paid podcast, where we share book, business, leadership, and life lessons in 20 minutes or less to help you build a thought leadership brand and business. My name is Jasmine Womack. I'm a former middle school language arts teacher turned seven-figure entrepreneur, and I am glad that you are here. Let's get started. Let's talk about the difference between real world writing skills and the academic world, because when you decide to go back to school, it's literally like being in two different worlds. You've got what you have to do in the system to excel, then you have what you have to do in entrepreneurship, and they are literally two polar opposites. And so when I'm doing my academic work, I kind of have to shut down my entrepreneurial brain, and then when I'm doing my entrepreneurial work, I don't like doing the academic stuff anyway, so that's just kind of easy to put in the back of my mind. So academic writing is a total different beast. And if you've never written a book or thought about it, like, here's what carries over, because many of you all who are interested in writing a book, you may try to come at this creative entrepreneurial task with an academic mindset, and you're not going to be able to. So I will say this, outlining like a pro, like I was able to use the same system or a similar system that I teach my clients, where I literally had to map out the chapters of my dissertation. I had to map out the chapters, well, the sections and the topics of my chapter 2, which is my literature review, literally like a content plan, and identify those core messages and building those arguments up that aligned. And when it comes to my voice and structure, while academic writing is formal, I still had to structure my ideas in a way that flowed. And I still had to be true to my voice and to my perspective. And so that means even when you're getting into theory, it can still be communicated with clarity and confidence. But clarity is a skill, like really being specific, being to the point, writing tight, clear sentences. It makes a world of difference instead of trying to sound deep for the sake of sounding deep, and then you got to rewrite it anyway. And then I will say this, writing in sprints, like having specific time to write. Like when it comes to writing this, you can't wait until you feel like it. You can't wait for the motivation to hit. I've had to schedule time, show up and get it done. Like get your mind in the game, get out of your feelings. And so when you are writing a book, it's the same way. There is no sitting down and waiting to feel empowered or motivated to write. This is where discipline kicks in, where it's like, I have to be disciplined to sit down and do this. And so just like I do with my coaching programs, like I do with my other books, like really leaning into discipline. And so here's where it gets good, because I'm not just writing a dissertation. I am leveraging this content to enhance my own coaching programs. I'm leveraging this content that I'm using in my dissertation to create a certification program and writing my next book in real time. And so this is what it looks like, right? So I'm able to adapt some of the stories, lessons, and insights that are written in my voice into my book. So like on one hand, where I have citations, it's lit reviews, academic tone, I'm able to take that research and use it to back up the information and the stories and the advice and the strategies that I'm sharing in my actual book. And so that means that I will be able to have a book written creatively, right? But also backed up by research. So I want you, whenever you're creating something, if you're an academia or writing any type of research-based project, I want to challenge you to think about completing it with repurposing it in mind. I want you to like really think beyond the degree and think about how you're going to leverage your work to build, to grow, or to enhance your next. I want you to think about how you're going to use that and how you can use it to monetize, right? So I've had to overcome some challenges, because even though I'm fairly successful in my business, when it comes to writing, in this academic world, I've had people there saying, oh, this and that can't be done. It's going to take you a long time. I will be straight up honest. Time management has been my biggest challenge. Like, the work itself isn't hard. It's managing kids' tutorials, managing birthday parties, managing full weekends of athletic events, managing marriage, managing my health, and managing the business, growing the business while still hosting events, while still doing this, because filling all those roles with all those hats is no joke, right? And so I have had to say, you know what? I'm not going to focus on perfection while I'm writing this. My goal, which is something that I teach my clients in the Published and Paid Academy while we are writing books, my goal with this is not perfection. My goal with this is not for it to be all the way 100. My goal is to get my ideas, get my first draft of this done and on paper. And if I can do that, if I can write my original 40 to 50 pages and get this down, then I can work on the restructuring, the reorganizing, the details, and all the perfectionism later as I'm working with the editor.